a small town of Shahpur, which is in district Thane, and it is in the outskirts of Mumbai. It is like 2 hours away from the suburban Mumbai or the main part of Mumbai. And the school that I was in, during my days, it was the only English medium school in our Shahpur Taluka. Uh, or in Shahpur. And then, of course, there was one more school that had come, which was English medium. After I think I reached 4th standard or 5th standard. So, the school that I was in was definitely good, but I never got any speaking opportunities there. Uh, Even if there were some, they were very rare. Okay, so if you go to a school in Bombay today, you will see that the crowd that is around you speaks English naturally. Okay, because maybe they come from the families where English is spoken as the first language in a lot of cities, in a lot of houses in Mumbai. But in my case, my friend circle in school, or uh, the environment that was there around me was not compulsorily English speaking. Of course, they told us that you have to speak in English compulsorily, which we tried to follow. But otherwise, the friends group that you are generally with, they were not the ones who used to speak in English, and nor was I. So even I never thought about, okay, I have to compulsorily speak in English and I have to improve my English and all of those things. In those days, all those things didn't matter. It was just the English subject and how to score good marks in that subject and all of those things. So until school days, I don't think I ever got more than one or two opportunities to speak in front of a large audience. When I did get an opportunity, that was speaking on a mic with a script that I already had written, and that used to happen, I think, every Saturdays or every Mondays in our school, where a student was given an opportunity to speak on mic in front of. So we used to actually sit in one of the classes and speak, and that was broadcasted to all other classrooms where there were speakers. So this was the kind of an arrangement that was there in my school, and hence speaking in front of a classroom for 15-20 minutes or even 5 minutes is an experience that I've never ever had. So one thing that I know that I used to do in school was that I used to love English subject, and hence whenever my teacher used to teach some chapter or some poem, I was always ahead in that series. So if I knew that tomorrow English lecture or English period that we used to call it had say chapter 11, I would have already completed, I think, chapter 20 or 21. Like, I would have read it well in advance because I used to love that subject. So the periods or lectures that I did not enjoy, I used to open my English textbook and read a lot. So that is, I think, one way in which I can say that I was always inclined towards this language. Then came my college days and 11th standard and 12th standard. So again, I was in Shahpur only, okay, 11th and 12th standard, and it was worse than my school because this was a crowd where there was hardly anyone who used to speak in English, and the only focus was exams and 12th standard and CET and all of those things. So 11th and 12th was poorer as compared to school. School was definitely good, but not as many opportunities to speak and grow in communication. Then I went to engineering, okay. But before this, the vacation that was there, I read a lot of books. I remember we had some 2 or 3 months of vacation, and that time I read a lot of books. I started reading newspapers. And in school days, obviously, I was a bright student. I was a very disciplined student who always used to love to top. I was always very competitive, and hence I used to read a lot of books, not just of English, but of any other subject. So be it history, civics, geography. Since I was in English medium school, so all of these subjects were also in English, and hence I can say that maybe my reading had improved because I used to read other subjects in English only. Then came engineering. Okay, I'm a computer engineer, and I went to Swami Vivekanand College in Chembur, which is in Mumbai, and I think that college has groomed me to an extent, and that is also because I grabbed a lot of opportunities. Okay, I had topped in my 12th standard and I had topped in my 10th standard, and I was clear of the fact that I don't want to top in engineering. A lot of us make this mistake, but I kind of had that in my mind that, you know what, enough of studies. I've studied a lot all these years. I've topped a lot all these years. Now I want to score good marks. I want to score decent marks, but I want to enjoy life and I want to explore opportunities because I never got any for so many years. So in my engineering college, I participated a lot in the extracurricular activities. Okay, and they could be very small activities. During those days, in the first year, I wanted to host a singing competition, so I applied for that. The small things that started giving me confidence. For example, in my second year, I joined a college society which was ISTE, which is Indian Society for Technical Education. So I joined them as a coordinator, and I was one among the 10 or 15 coordinators from the second year students. Okay, so there we started speaking to each other and I opened up a little bit. And then in my third year at that same society, I became the public relations officer. Okay, it is called PRO. So being a PRO, our work included going to different classes and making announcements of the events that were happening that week, or maybe that were scheduled in the next or the third week. Okay, so I had to go in front of a class of around 100 or 120, sometimes 60, 70. I had to stand on the podium, stand on the stage, and I had to be so loud and clear in my speech that even if there's a lot of noise in the class, they all keep quiet and they all start listening to us. Because we used to go to make announcements during lunch breaks, right? It wasn't allowed to disturb a professor during her lecture or and make a announcement from a society. So obviously we used to go during lunchtime or the time that we got in between. So I think that was the first time ever that I spoke to an audience of 60 or 70 or 100 or 150. Okay, and that was quite regular because PRO, I was a PRO for almost one year, right? So almost 5 or 6 months I've done this activity of going to different classes and announcing. Okay, now apart from this, I participated in intra-college activities and inter-college activities also. So I remember I have won 3 technical paper presentations in my college in engineering, and I think 2 of them are inter-college and 1 of them is intra-college. And during these presentations, when you go outside to present in front of an audience that you're not aware of, okay, it is just you and your team of 1 or 2 people, you 2 or 3 people go to some other college and you present in front of them. That gives you another sense of confidence. Okay, so I think such things like hosting, participating in presentations, announcing, all of these opportunities kind of developed a sense of confidence in me. However, I was still not sure if this is the career that I want to pursue. I definitely knew that I wanted to do something related to English, okay, because I still remember when I joined MBA classes in my third year, I had went to one of the professors of Time Institute. If you're aware, Time is a famous institute for MBA to prepare for CAT and CET and all of those entrance exams. So I went up to him after the lecture in Dadar and I asked him that, sir, you know what, I'm really inclined towards English language, but I do not know what I should do. Like, I do not know if I, after engineering, like what is the career prospect. So he didn't actually guide me. He was like, I don't know, maybe you can do literature or you can do this or that. And I think being in engineering already, 3 years in engineering, nobody would like to leave it and then go and pursue something else. So I had left that thought that time only until recently, until this year. Quarantine helped me to come back and pursue my passion of the English language and everything that is related to the language. Now, one more thing that I did during engineering, which has helped me a lot, is that my friend circle was not an English speaking crowd, nor was I. Okay, like when we talk to each other, हम हिंदी में बात करते हैं. We talk to each other in Hindi. So all the time we almost used to talk to each other in Hindi only. But then when I was in hostel, I had 1 or 2 friends who used to only speak in English, no other language. And to talk to them, I had to compulsorily speak in English. Okay, so talking to my friends in English went on for quite some time because I was in hostel for almost 4 years. So I think these little things and the opportunities that I took few years back has helped me today to be more confident and fluent. Now, apart from that, after engineering, I entered MBA, and in my MBA also, I made it sure that I just don't want to participate in extracurricular activities this time. This time, I want to participate in extracurricular activities and I want to top. Like, I really want to top, and I want both of them. Because I realized in engineering that I should have actually topped, which I didn't. I didn't pay attention to studies that much. Most of the engineers do that. At the end of engineering, I realized that if I would have also focused on studies, then maybe I would have been far better than only focusing on the extracurriculars. So in my MBA, I made sure that I wanted to top and I wanted to do extracurricular activities also. So even in my MBA, I remember having gone to some colleges like IIM Lucknow, and we went there, my team went there and we presented there, and we also won, I think, second prize at IIM Lucknow. So I kind of participated in extracurriculars even in my MBA college. And I think MBA college gives you lots of opportunities because there are a lot of presentations that you have to give compulsorily in front of your class. Always, like almost every week there are presentations where you have to stand in front of your class and speak about whatever is in front of the PPT behind you, right? So that kind of grooms you to speak a lot. And at the same time, I tried to speak in English with some of my close friends at MBA. So I think these are the few things that helped me. And I think even today, the friends that I'm in touch with, who were the English speaking friends, even today, if I call them or if they call me, we only talk to each other in English. Okay, and that has not that was never actually decided between us. It was just that okay, they were comfortable talking in English, so I felt like I shouldn't talk to them in Hindi or some other language, right? Because if somebody is talking to me in English and I reply to them in some other language, they'll feel that I do not know how to speak in English. So that thought process kind of helped me to develop my English. So even today, I read a lot. Okay, I read newspapers, and the TV shows that I watch, I definitely watch Hindi TV series. Whichever I hear around us that this series is very good, I definitely watch the Hindi series. But usually, okay, normally, generally, when I'm having lunch or when I'm having dinner, I turn on my TV for at least half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour. I sit and eat and listen to English. Okay, and that is generally news channels like some news channels that I follow: India Today, NDTV, and NewsX. Now, NewsX is unpaid. Okay, it is a free channel, so you can follow that. There are a lot of debates that go on NewsX every single day. So if you don't want to pay for NDTV and India Today, you can go for NewsX. Now, I also follow Republic TV sometimes. Okay, because there are a lot of new words that TV anchors speak which fall on your ears, and then you can maybe search for the meaning about that word and add it to your vocabulary. So apart from the TV news channels, sometimes I also watch web series like Suits or Shark Tank and all of those. And I think Shark Tank is one of the series where I've learned a lot of new words. Even Suits, okay? So there are a lot of new words that come, and the best part about Netflix or Amazon is that you can pause it and then you can see the word, check the word, and then look for the word in your dictionary and understand the meaning. Now, something else that I want to tell you is, it's not always necessary to look up for every single word that you come across, because what is important in English is to be able to understand the meaning rather than looking for every single new word which you haven't heard of before. So even when you're reading, it's not important to actually go and check the dictionary unless you do not understand anything or you do not understand the context of what you're reading, and you must check this word. Okay, apart from that, don't go to the dictionary and check the word every single time, because that hampers the flow of your reading. Okay, when I'm reading articles in in newspapers, every single day I come across so many words that I haven't read before or I haven't heard of before, but I only check the dictionary for few of them, and most of them I skip by just reading and reading, because I know that I will come across these words again in the future, and then subconsciously maybe someday I'll use one of them in my speech. So when I'll come across these words 3 or 4 times at different places, maybe the 5th time I'm speaking about something and I'm stuck, I'm not able to find a word, maybe I'll just put that word in my speech. So this is how I think English should improve, not necessarily always going to the dictionary, checking every single meaning, then trying to remember that meaning, because that is impossible. If you want to read a newspaper, if you want to read 5 or 6 articles from a newspaper every single day, 5 or 6 articles may have 50 words at least, I think, or 40 words at least, which are new for you, okay, depending upon your level of English. So that would be a pain to go to the dictionary and check 40 words and 40 meanings and then finish the activity of reading. So I don't really recommend doing that. But yes, if you are in school or if you're in college, do participate a lot in activities that will give you opportunities and exposure to audience and speaking and communication. Okay, just try to surround yourself by people or by friends who speak in English naturally. Okay, or if there is no friend who speaks to you in English naturally, then you can decide that you both want to speak and improve in English. So if you also belong to a small town like I do, and you don't have a lot of opportunities, then definitely find a friend, or just tell your best friend that, hey, you know what, English is important. I'm not saying that English is the world, definitely not, but English is important. If you know how to communicate, a lot of doors of opportunities open up for you. So you can decide with your friend that you want to speak and improve, okay, and that happens only by practicing, right? So practice a lot, read a lot, watch things that are in English so that some of it falls on your ears every day, and participate a lot, okay? This is not just for school students or college students, this is also if you're working in a corporate and there are events that happen in corporates, right? People want during those events, corporates generally want employees who are good at speaking so that they can host the event, or maybe receive the guests or something of that sort. So look out for such opportunities even in your corporate, okay? That's my only advice. And yeah, I'm done. I think I'm going to put one more video about my English speaking journey, and I'll list down everything that you should do and everything that I do even today, okay? Everything that I do to improve my English, because I know there's a long way to go for me also to be able to have a big vocabulary box and speak in a way that will have a lot of nice words. Now, I'm not saying that English is just about using fancy words, not at all. It is about speaking in a simple language and making the others understand what you're saying, okay? Your communication is about making the meaning of what you're saying understood by the listener, okay? But you can't always stay at this level, right? Someday you will have to rise to this level and then this level, and that happens when you know more vocabulary and when you know more idioms and phrases and those things, right? So okay, until I see you next. And I forgot to say one thing, which is subscribe, like, share, everything that will help others to speak fluently in English, okay? So don't forget to subscribe, okay? Really don't forget to subscribe, and really don't forget to comment on this video if you liked it, really. Okay, bye.